Hi, my name is Felicity and I'm bringing you this week's Family Federation report. Today we will focus on an organization called the Women's Federation for World Peace that was founded in 1992 by Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. Women's Federation for World Peace hold annual leadership conferences around the world in different countries. Recently we held a conference in South and North Korea. 700 women from around the world attended this conference, including 7 women from New Zealand. Firstly, we will bring you some reports and projects of Women's Federation activities around the world. Secondly, we will show some interviews and footage from the conference in South and North Korea. Please sit back and enjoy.
The Women's Federation for World Peace celebrated its 15th anniversary this April. The commemorative event was attended by the founders, the Reverend Sun Myung Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, some of their children, and 1,300 participants, including diplomats, Korean congresswomen, and overseas representatives. Particularly, the WFWP International has contributed greatly in the area of empowerment of women and children, targeting peace building and poverty eradication, which meets the UN's MDGs, and you are very much appreciated, said UN Undersecretary General Anwaru Chowdhury in a message. The founders who jointly took the podium presented a speech, a providential view of the Pacific Rim era in light of God's will. Reverend Moon stated, in this year of the Divine Jubilee, humanity will center on God and open a new era. Emphasizing that the new era of the ocean has come, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon said that the women must dedicate their utmost in creating this new culture. In December 2006, the founders visited the headquarters of WFWP. Father Moon was very pleased with the tour of the office, seminar room, and president's office, saying that he wanted to stay longer in this fragrant environment of women. Started in 2000 in Korea, this was the 7th annual International Leadership Workshop, held October 2006 in Bangkok, and attended by 104 leaders from 20 countries. The 7th workshop offered practical ideas for various roles that women leaders could play in creating opportunities and making improvements. 120 women leaders from 21 countries and UN officials gathered in Thailand's UN SCAP Convention Center to discuss the topic, Women's Participation in Decision-Making, Leadership Opportunities and Creating Change. A sisterhood exchange of women participating from the East and West was held. An awards ceremony for a children's art competition project, Color My Heart with Peace, was hosted by WFWP Thailand, and a UNESCO representative gave congratulatory remarks. The 11th Middle East Women's Conference with the theme Women Uniting for Peace was held in Larnaca, Cyprus, located in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. The brilliant women leaders participating visited North Cyprus as well on an invitation by the wife of a top leader. WFWP is a corporation under the Korean Ministry of Unification, a member of the Korean National Council for Reconciliation and Cooperation, and a director of the Council on Unification Education, thereby serving a central role in promoting the unification of the peninsula. It also is involved with various training programs on unification as joint projects supported by the Ministry of Unification. Since its founding, WFWP has held a prayer meeting for North-South unification every January at a site where North Korea can be seen. On January 17th, some 100 members and their children arrived at the Odu-Sang Unification Observatory to light incense at a prepared altar and offer prayers. They wrote their hopes for unification on 5 colored balloons and sent them off to their friends in the north. North Korean refugee groups are invited to a music concert every December by WFWP. Performances range from jazz pieces to a kayagum trio, a solo vocal, and dances. The final song of unification, sung with all holding hands, must have been heard far away in the north. Having started sisterhood exchanges with the refugees in 1998, 3 North Korean refugees were granted college scholarships at this 9th music concert for unification. President Jang In-suk of the North Korean Refugees Union for Peace Unification presented the scholarships. We were able to confirm once again that the North and the South are one family. The 2007 Unification Summer Camp was held under the theme, Let's Open the Doors of Unification. Students of grades 4, 5, and 6 were able to spark their interest in unification and have the opportunity to receive training as future leaders. At the civilian passes restriction area, camp participants learned about the types and number of landmines buried around the globe and of their dangers. They also experienced community service and learned about the significance of unification as they view the land across the 38th parallel. The Duran Duran Unification Camp is fully committed to foster unification leaders. The unification field trip held in September was attended by 40 women leaders from the Gwangju branch. They spent time visiting Panmunjom and the South-North entrance office in Dorasan to experience for themselves where we stand in terms of unification. The 1% Love Share project, initiated in 2002, is a major project of WFWP. It aims to help needy children and women of North Korea with a contribution of 1,000 won from a donor each month. The President and headquarters staff, through their visits to North Korea, have gained much attention from the press, and the branches have been raising funds through various campaigns and bazaars. Overseas chapters have also generously supported this project. WFWP discussed ways of delivering the collections for the 1% project during the last 5 years, with representatives of the Northern KCRC, Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, in Kungansan last May. During the discussion, we confirmed that funds for the 1% project were collected solely by women worldwide without the help of the government. North Korea expressed gratitude and stated that this will be a significant contribution to unification. As a result of the discussions, WFWP agreed to support this year with supplies worth $10,000 and $5,000 next year. On October 25th, WFWP sent part of the goods to the north through Incheon. About 30 members participated in the Women's Leadership Unification Training hosted by the Center for Unification Education. The Women's Department of the Korean Council for Unification Education is hosting workshop for women also. President Moon and Secretary General Choi, who are the co-chair of the KCRC and the chair of the KCRC Women's Department respectively, attended the Southern Committee of the 6.15 Joint Representative Conference, the 9th KCRC Conference, discussion on unification, a tree nursery completion ceremony in Pyongyang, and North-South Joint Tree Planting event, KCRC Steering Committee meeting, and its Women's Department Conference to realize unification. We are also participating in various seminars, forums and events of internal and external NGO organizations in order to promote cooperation with the government. The Peace Women newsletter, published every other month since 2005, is now being issued as a quarterly. Peace Women is distributed to local members, overseas chapters, women's organizations, and the wives of the diplomatic community for the promotion of WFWP. All of the accomplishments of 2007 would not have been possible without the branch leaders and members who have dedicated themselves to put into action the teachings of the founders. Your tears, sweat, and blood will never be forgotten. WFWP Korea, under the ideal and thought of Father and Mother Moon, will further the 21st Century Women Leaders Forum and Women Leaders Development Program in order to vitalize its mission for education. We hope to train ourselves and the women leaders in preparation for unification and for bringing about peace in each of our countries. By further developing the 1% Love Share project, we will bring ourselves closer to unification. We will continue to build international exchanges with women leaders in order to realize the ideal of one world, one family.
Bring your message of peace in a world sick and dying, let it flow. In the winds of change, Mother, 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 without your love, this world's so strange. Without you, I'm lost. Without you, I'm lost. Listen to her heart that echoes in the winds of change. I feel her tenderness when looking through her eyes. The sun begins to rise. Mother, Mother, there's many of you trying. You bring your message of peace in a world that's sick and dying. And let it flow, let it flow. In the wind.
The conference schedule was really packed with many wonderful experiences. We started on the evening of the 28th of October with an opening session where some speeches were given, and one of the speakers was Cook Jin Moon, who's the son of Dr. Sun Myung Moon. And he spoke about the importance of really doing good deeds. He said, what is the longest distance? It's from your head to your hand. And always that he appreciated that the Women's Federation for World Peace International is doing so many good works to really help many people throughout the world, young children, and breaking down barriers in many instances. Also, the next day we had reports from around the world, from the different continents and the different nations. And the women reported there about how they're doing different activities, again, to break down barriers between peoples of different religions, races, and cultures. And one of the main events that the Women's Federation for World Peace does is what's called the Bridge of Peace ceremony. And this Bridge of Peace is where people from places from different types of cultures can come together, or enemy nations, and really embrace and forgive and have reconciliation. And also the 1% Love Sharing Project, which is where everybody gives some donation to really help the people of North Korea. In the evening, that evening, we had the speaker was Hyun Jin Moon, and he again really thank the Women's Federation so deeply for having the courage to bring back what he called hugs back into this movement, to bring healing and reconciliation through the Bridge of Peace ceremonies. So there was a lot of time where we could really share together and understand how different people in different parts of the world are all working towards the same goal, to build a world of peace.
I thought, why don't WFWP International have schools in the islands?
Yeah.
And I think, in my heart and mind, it keeps telling me now is the time for Oceania and the Pacific, Rim, and all of this. Yeah. And somehow, if we can connect Japan or whoever got the schools started in these places, because there's some islands out there that would really love Women's Federation schools there.
Well, there is one in Samoa that the Japanese sisters started in one of the villages in Samoa.
Yeah, but that's one. But is it an ongoing thing?
We have to find out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I think if we can do something like that substantial, it'll we're just a few members, right? But we've got a lot of zeal and enthusiasm. I mean, if we can start the school project, because I can see how they've done it in America, that they've got the funding, and I'm sure in Australia or New Zealand we're raising money for schools in the islands. That could be a big thing.
Well, I've met some bands. I always meet people who do music and everything like that, and there were a lot of bands from the islands, and they were interested. They've already contacted me a number of times to do benefits for us, to raise funds for things like that. They're really interested in supporting the island stuff. Yeah.
Then we went to the north on buses, and at that time we were given some instruction before we left for North Korea that we weren't allowed to take any pictures out of the window in North Korea, and that we had to be very careful about what we said or what we did as we crossed through the border. We all noticed that when we went through the immigration in North Korea, that it was a feeling of much more subdued atmosphere, and everybody was very quiet. There weren't as many smiling faces, and we went through just step by step doing what we had to do. But as we went through into the north, we could also sense the incredible beauty of the creation in the mountains. When we got to the area of Mount Kumgan, we had the great privilege to hike up to the mountain top, and this was just really fascinating to see the beauty and the autumn colors. It was just really incredible.
Hi, my name is Alexa Ward, and I'm president of Women's Federation for World Peace in the United States, and one of a number of international vice presidents, and we're here in Mount Kumgang, the wonderful Diamond Mountain area in the northern part of Korean Peninsula, for the 8th International Leaders Workshop. And we're here really to support the peace process. We believe that women bring a very unique quality to the peace process, quality of unconditional love, quality of empathy, ability to not just love our own families and our own children, but be able to make that artistic connection to children of people from other parts of the world. So we share a very common destiny with the women from the North Korea in the area of being a daughter and a wife and a mother. So we're here to bring that kind of heart and kind of support and share that with the Koreans, to help them in this really critical time of unification of this peninsula.
So it is a lot of fun here, and it is very peaceful here. The scenery is so beautiful in this mountain. This movement, move us on together. There are about 50 countries, members from all over the world who join this trip. So it is a very nice weather today, and we really enjoy climbing up the mountain.
That evening we had a part of our convention where 10 women from Pyongyang came and shared in the convention and also spoke. And that evening we also were able to have what we called a candlelight ceremony, where everybody was holding a candle and singing words of peace, a famous Korean song called Arirang, and really hoping for the reunification of the Korean Peninsula. The next day, we had the choice of either climbing the mountain again, another mountain, Manmulsang, which was a really great experience. I chose to climb this mountain, and at the very top there, we could see out over the sea. It was beautiful. And some of the climbs were very steep. There were steps prepared, and climbing up was really an exciting adventure. Many of the women chose to go to the seaside because that was really a beautiful experience there also.
I wasn't expecting it to be like this. As you can see behind me, there's a beautiful sea, the coast, and we've just driven through tremendous nature. There were schools and people working in the farms and the mountains. It's overwhelming. And it's such a pretty place. It's unspoiled. It looks so clean and tidy in comparison to the rest of the world. We know their life is very difficult and suffering here, that there's such a strong regime. But we can also see that there's so much purity here in comparison to the rest of the world. So actually it's quite sad to think about it, the corruption of the Western world and how it's turned so many countries away from their original state. And when I think about the way we trash ourselves and trash our countries, then we need to really question our value system and what is important in life. So here I am sitting in North Korea on a dilemma of where we go from here.
Hi, I'm Rosie from Argentina. I am responsible for the Women's Federation for World Peace in Argentina and also a Secretary General from South America. And well, about North Korea, the nature is really beautiful. We could really enjoy climbing mountains, seeing sea, all those things. The thing that maybe shocked me here was the small towns. No, I was thinking especially about youth living in those small towns where there isn't even a supermarket or something where they can go and buy something. They just completely live there and depend on what they receive from the government, no? Food, clothes, and everything. So maybe that was one of the most shocking things for me. But anyway, it's such a beautiful place, and it is so nice that they start opening it for the world to see. And hopefully this is like the door for the world to enter in North Korea, no? Because still it's very restricted, and we can just go until certain place and then it stops. But I hope it will be a door to enter and to know better also North Koreans and let them also know the world. No, that is my deep desire.
Hello, my name is Maria Gabriela. I come from Venezuela, and I run Women's Federation for World Peace there. And it is a big privilege for me to be here, and I'm very grateful for being able to be here. And it is very interesting to see what we have seen here and what we have shared here. The people, the North Korean, are so beautiful. They're so young. They're so, I can see in their faces that they're so nice, and they have good hearts. And I would really love to be able to embrace them and to talk to them and to share our experiences, of living.
And in the evening, we had an amazing performance of a circus of acrobatic performance from the North Koreans. It was really great. And so our whole convention was filled with many inspirational talks, times of sharing, enjoying the beautiful creation. And I think most important was the time that all women from around the world could be together, really having the same heart through the power of love and the hope to really build world peace. So it was really a great convention.
Fantastic time in during this workshop. It was really amazing, and everyone was really nice, and the speeches were great. And North Korea was really interesting. And I was in a circus. I'm sorry. The North Korean were really nice, the people. They were very serious though, and yeah, we tried to make them smile. Candace actually made them smile, which was pretty cool. That was a big victory. But no, yeah, they were just amazing, and it was a life-changing experience, because you can't imagine that there's people living like that, and how fortunate we are to go home to food and a bed, and then they go home, and we actually don't even know what they go home to. But anyway, it's just really sad. But anyway, so it changed my life, this experience. It really did. So hopefully can continue making me a better person. Yes. So thank you.
My name's Janine Helland, and I'm the Vice President of the Women's Federation International for Oceania region, and we're just returning from a trip to North Korea. 700 women from around the world gathered together, and we were able to meet with the North Korean women, 10 women from the North Korean Women's Association. It was an amazing experience. One of the objectives of the Women's Federation is reconciliation, breaking down the barriers between countries and barriers that divide us. And I think that this is an amazing experience, being able to achieve that. It was really quite an amazing experience going to North Korea. Thank you.
Hope you have enjoyed today's program, especially the women out there. If you are interested to attend, or you would like to know more about the Women's Federation, or would like to attend, we have monthly meetings. Please contact us on 0800 through family, or you can check out our international website, which is www.wfwp.org. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Check out our international website, which is www.wfwp.org. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.